And welcome back to another episode of Stafford and Matthews, episode 16. As always, Joe Stafford, Chris Matthews, former Seahawk and Raven. And guys, we have a third guest today, our intern, Kevin. Kevin, intern Kev, what's up?
What's up, guys? How you guys doing?
Here we go.
What's going on, man?
Nothing much. Just chilling, ready to get this going.
Here we go. We got Kev on the show today. We're probably on the show for the foreseeable future too, just to have him as kind of a crutch there. If we kind of, go into some gray area or get us back on track or give us some stats or anything, we'll be able to go to Kev. Actually, speaking of stats, Kev, what are the records at right now?
Let's see. Right now, Joe's got 70% right. Chris has got 66% right.
What?
It's getting closer.
Oh, closer?
Yeah, it's getting closer. I was up like 10% last week or something like that.
I don't know. I feel like you guys is pulling something over on me on this one. Like, there's absolutely no way I go from just being on top to now below average.
You had a good week last week. You had 11 picks last week.
Yeah, no, for sure. I was trying hard on that one.
Honestly, like not to like toot my horn or anything, but 70%. Like I'm feeling really good about that.
That's pretty good.
I knew that was gonna happen.
I'm feeling pretty good about that number.
I'm like, he has to already know the percentages. That's why he brought it up. That's what
I swear on my mom's grave, I had no idea.
No, he didn't know how
right there.
I swear to God, I didn't. But anyway, interesting week 16 in the NFL, starting with a Friday night game for the first time in a long, long time. You had the Saints and the Vikings here. And actually, before we do anything else, if you guys are watching YouTube, wait a second. My allegiance has changed. If you guys are watching on Spotify or Apple, I'm now wearing a Saints hat because my Patriots just got stomped all over.
Oh my God.
It was not good. And it's funny. I hopped in. Me and Chris are friends on Xbox who play Modern Warfare sometimes. And I hopped in his parties with all his friends. I don't know who with. And I hop in and Chris is like, hello. And I'm like, hey, Chris, the Patriots suck. And I left the party. That's all I said. That's all I said. And I mean, like, it's rightfully deserved. I mean, we'll talk about that later. But let's get into the Saints-Vikings here real quick. Final score, I believe, was 52-33. The Saints went to 11-4, and the Vikings fall to 6-9. Nice. Anyway, Drew Brees comes back and has a pretty awful day. I'm not gonna lie to you, had a pretty terrible day. 19-26, 311 yards, 2 picks, no touchdowns. But he didn't need to have a good day because the star of the show, the star of the week, the star of maybe the season, Alvin Kamara, 22 carries, 155 yards, 6 touchdowns on the ground. 6.
Yeah.
6.
I'm thinking of the past decade. Best game in the past decade.
It's like, first of all, fantasy. If you have him, you got to be praising this guy. If you're playing against him, God help you in your championship. He dropped a 60 burger, but it's just unbelievable. But just a wild performance from Alvin Kamara. 6 touchdowns is nothing to shake your head at. That ties the record, I believe, for most all time in a single game. And he had a shot to actually break the record as well. They took him out on the second to last Saints drive, and they scored a touchdown with.
He got a 7. He had a 7, but they called.
Right. I'm just saying also beforehand, they call it Taysom Hill run. They took him out of the game the second to last drive. He scored a touchdown. Then Kamara came back in and scored another one. So that was weird. But he had a chance for 7, didn't get 7, but it doesn't matter. 6 is phenomenal. As always, you saw Kirk Cousins come in and clutch in garbage time because that's his specialty. That's all he does. I swear to God. And I do hate on Kirk Cousins a lot. A lot of it's unwarranted, but a lot of it is warranted because the guy just can't perform in clutch moments. This is a big game. You're 6-9. You don't only have a shot at the playoffs, but I want to give your team a reason to keep you around next year. They're paying you $30 million a year guaranteed, and you're not worth that kind of money. So you might want to actually play well in these kind of situations here against really a bona fide team like the Saints, who, by the way, got picked apart by Jalen Hurts, who just started his second career game. Mm-hmm. And now you have Kirk Cousins, who is a veteran quarterback, beat out RG3 in Washington, signs a fully guaranteed contract, one of the first in NFL history, $90 million over 3 years. And he can't do anything with one of the best running backs in the NFL, and Dalvin Cook, with a great receiving core in Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen. And it's mind-boggling to me how he can keep continuing to mess this up. But what were your thoughts on this game, Chris?
I mean, before I even get into the game, I already knew coming in, week 16. I'm just thinking in my head, I'm like, all right, I know how this is going to play out. The games are going to play out. It's just going to be interesting to see what's going to happen. And sure enough, here goes the Minnesota game, and this guy Alvin Kamara goes off for six touchdowns, 6 of them, and like you said, Drew Brees is out here playing terrible. The only guy that was making him halfway look decent was Emmanuel Sanders. You know, he had 88 yards, 85. What was it?
83 on 4 receptions.
4 receptions. You know what I'm saying? Like he was making him look good out there. It was more so the company than the person who was actually the star of the show. But overall, I just feel like I knew it was going to happen. Guys are starting to give up. They're going to start slowing up. They're not going as hard. They're not fitting that gap as hard as they would if they was, had a chance. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's sad to see it, but then, legendary things like this happens as well. And, the people who, fall victim of the road of, where it's over, we can relax. It's not that serious. We're not making it. They'll get cleared out, and more people will show up, and that's when the draft takes hold of it.
Yeah, for sure. And you got to be demoralized if you're a Vikings defender here. I mean, if you let up 6 touchdowns by one human being in 4 quarters of football, that must be demoralizing for you. Also, underrated storyline this week. Mike Zimmer came out and said this. This is not a made-up quote. He actually said this in a press conference. This is the worst defense I've ever had in my career. Oh my God. That is like, first of all, for a head coach to say that has to be something historically awful. For a head coach to say about his own team, about guys who will come back next year. It's not like it's a college team where they all leave for the pros. He'll have this team for the next 5-10 years. And you just give them out to I don't know how to describe it right now, but it's crazy. I cannot believe he actually said that on live television.
Yeah, it was something to see, and that's why I said it was going to be interesting. It was going to be an interesting week. I knew that was going to happen, but if that's the underlining story, then let's talk about the headlining story of Dalvin Cook's father passing away. Definitely want to wish his family my condolences. And then praying that he gets back. He's in the clear headspace to be able to play again. Because I don't know what I would do. If mine's ends up gone, but everybody knows it's going to happen one day. It's just I want to just make sure that the headspace is good for them and they're able to return safely and make wise decisions, because that's going to be a change. There's definitely going to be a change in somebody's life, and you don't know how that's going to take.
For sure. And he passed away at 46 years old, a very young age for sure. He had diabetes and underlying conditions. They haven't revealed the actual cause of death as of yet, I don't believe. It could be COVID related, could not be. I'm not really sure. But no matter what the reason or the situation it was, just a tragic loss for one of the game's biggest stars in Dalvin Cook. So our prayers and condolences are with him and his family at this time. He will not be playing next week. He'll be in Miami for the funeral and the services, just to get his mind right, because he is going to have a long off season without his father and with a tough situation in Minnesota anyway. So definitely our thoughts and prayers with the Cook family at this time. Next game, Bucks in the Lions. Oh my God, too. 47-7 final score. This was embarrassing. They didn't score a touchdown till the third quarter to Detroit. So it was at halftime. We do the quick math here. It was 34-0 at halftime. 34. Tom Brady with a vintage performance, 22 of 27, 348 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks at 43 years old. Another cool story from this weekend. There's a lot of cool underlying stories this weekend.
There you go, Joe.
Ty Warren, who was a great defensive end for the Patriots for years, 10 years, I believe. Drafted in 2003 or 4. It was Brady's 4th NFL season. They took a picture on the sidelines. He's been retired for 8 years now. Brady was drafted before him, 4 years before him, and is still playing now that Warren's retired 8 years. That's a crazy kind of story right there. And it shows how well Brady's taking care of his body. Shout out to Alex Guerrero, also the TB12 method and everything. But just a crazy contrast of how careers can change and alter, and how Tom versus time continues to be a storyline here. He's had moments this year where he
back now. He's the best of all time. He's slanging it around. He's doing the best. He's doing the ultimate best. That's what he's doing right now.
Wait, you just call him the best of all time?
That's what I know you're gonna say.
No, you just said it. I didn't say that. You said that.
But I know you're going to say that is what I'm
Well,
saying.
because it's just a fact. I'm not to worry about it. You look it up on Wikipedia. It says
know
Tom
it's
Brady's the
gonna
greatest
come.
quarterback.
I know it's coming. It's going to come around and you're going to beat around the bush. And then here it comes. Oh, yeah, that's why Tom Brady is the best quarterback of all time. And I'm like, what?
It's not like a hot take. Like that's a very universal thing. Kev, who's the greatest quarterback of all time?
Performance wasn't a hot take either. I don't think. I hope you didn't take anything from this, but they played against a bad defense. That's all it was.
Kev, who's the greatest quarterback of all time?
Tom Brady. I may have a little biased, but still.
Kev, where do you live right now?
New York.
Yeah, Chris, New York. The number one hotbed for Tom Brady hatred.
All of my friends say the same thing. So
the GOAT.
You know, it's funny, right?
The fact you think he's not the GOAT.
It's
hilarious. It's hilarious the fact you don't think he's the greatest quarterback of all time.
Wait, who's the GOAT?
Of all time? Aaron Rodgers. Still walking, breathing, playing.
I don't know. He's gonna need another 2 Super Bowls, maybe.
11-3
right now. Hey, I'm not going to tolerate any Aaron Rodgers slander on this show. I mean, I picked him beginning of the season to finish top 2 in MVP voting. He'll probably finish number 1. I think he'll probably beat Patrick Mahomes at this point in the year. He only has 4 picks and like 45 touchdowns, something crazy like that, some crazy ratio that only really Rodgers could do. And I will grant you, Chris, I think Rodgers is probably more talented than Tom Brady. But that doesn't matter because he's not the best of all time. I go back, and I've said this before on the show. It's like the LeBron Jordan argument, right? I think LeBron's probably more talented physically than Michael Jordan. I think he's a better passer, better rebounder, etc. But I think Jordan's the best because, first of all, titles and pedigree.
LeBron James is more talented than Michael Jordan.
I would say so. Yeah, I would. But Michael Jordan's still the greatest of all time.
How is he the most talented? What makes LeBron James the most talented?
He's a better passer and a better rebounder. He's just as good as the defender, and he's a great offensive player.
No, no, absolutely not, Joe. I can't just let you sit here and then spew off some stats and tell me that he is the better player. Like, have you actually sat down and paid it? We're getting too far into basketball right now. We're talking about football. We're talking about your best friend Tom Brady,
ex-best friend. We're on bad terms right now. we're on bad terms right now. But I'm still
you're switching teams. It's a whole bunch of stuff.
I'm still rooting for the guy, but like I said, when I put the hat on during the first part of this podcast, the New Orleans Saints, if they play the Buccaneers in the playoffs, they're going to rip their heads off. in two regular season games this year, they've been walloped. Week 1 might be a bye, first game in a new system in 20 years. So it's week 1, so you don't really have an identity at week 1. Right. But then later in the season, midway through the season, they still got blown out. So I really don't think there's a shot in hell that the Bucs meet the Saints, in the divisional round wild card, wherever the hell it works out. There's not a shot in hell they beat Drew Brees and the Saints. But that's just me. That's just my view.
And that's why I'm saying I hope you didn't take anything out of this game that they just played. They just played against a bad team.
No, for sure. I mean, granted, the Lions haven't been good this year, obviously, but I think it's still a worthwhile performance to mention. I think Brady.
No, absolutely. Kudos to being able to throw all these touchdowns. You should have been able to throw the whole time. I love to see it. You know what I'm saying? You get 16 tries to get one right, and you get one right. There you go.
Chris, all right, I've
been saying this whole time, Joe. I've been saying this the whole time. You can go back to previous episodes. I've been saying this literally the same thing. You can play as many games as you want. You might get 1 or 2 right. I've been saying this the whole time.
Chris, try playing quarterback at 43 years old. You're literally almost in a wheelchair at that point as an NFL quarterback.
Joe, you don't even know. I don't know. You don't know. Kev don't know. So how can we even say that? We don't know.
Kev doesn't know anything. Don't bring him into this. Doesn't know anything. Can't throw a football 5 yards. You're getting me going way too early for this. They're way down the line. We're way down the line. But yeah, Bucs stomped the Lions 47-7. Gronk has 2 touchdown catches. Mike Evans 2. Godwin and Antonio Brown add another one. Antonio Brown's first touchdown as a Buccaneer, by the way.
And it was cool nasty.
It was nasty. It was a nice little streak up the seam there. That was cool to see for AB coming back too. So shout out to the Buccaneers, 10-5, but I really don't expect them to make a deep run in the playoffs this year. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, this will make you happy a little bit, Chris. 49ers Cardinals, 20-12 is the
sir.
final score here. The 49ers improved to 6-9. The Cardinals fall to 8-7. The Cardinals start off, I think, 5-1, out the gate, burning fire like a phoenix in the desert, and then just continue to shit the bed. Like that's the only way I can describe it here. And I will even say this against my Patriots, right? Who at the time were still making a playoff push. I'm like, okay, maybe they have a shot against this Cardinals team, and then the first possession, he gets sacked twice. Kendrick gets sacked twice, and fumbles the ball, and they almost turn it for a touchdown. I'm like, okay, this game's over. Then they come back and win the game against the Cardinals, and I'm like, what the hell's going on here? Then they drop 3 straight. They win a game, and they lose another 2 straight. This will be the second one, and now they're 8-7. They no longer control their own playoff destiny. And that's a problem. You have Kyler Murray, who's still an MVP frontrunner in my mind. He has the numbers, hasn't been as of late, and he probably won't win it because of recency bias, obviously. But at the same time, his numbers to back it up. He's dominated at certain points during this season, and he just can't do it consistently. And that might be a problem going forward for Cliff Kingsbury in this offense, relying kind of on gimmicky schemes, on kind of read option schemes, on RPO schemes. So I'm intrigued to see what Cliff does next year after another year of film goes out on Kyler Murray, and whether or not he can, first of all, stay healthy, and 2, execute a game plan to perfection over the course of a full season.
Yeah, well, I have no complaints about this game. I have little slight jabs, but there's no really complaints about this game. Our defense is still lacking a little bit. People's getting deep balls on us, but other than that, I feel like we played a solid game. As far as Kyler Murray, I think Kyler Murray, the offensive coordinator, I think they'll have an even better year next year, to be honest with you. Just looking at it, you have players who are generally around that same build, that are quarterbacks, that are featured quarterbacks in this league, and they've proven that they've gotten better throughout the years, and it hasn't went against them. So I believe that Kyler Murray will have an even better year. To be honest with you, another year, a full off season with D Hop and and company. So I think they'll do really good.
I'm just worried about Kyler Murray long term now. I'm very concerned now. I love the kid. First of all, great Madden player, by the way. I play a ton of Madden, unreal Madden.
Yeah.
Love Kyler and Madden and everything, but real life wise, yeah, Kyler Murray, electric player. I mean, obviously an unbelievable athlete, especially for his size. Playing quarterback, that comes with some restrictions. We've seen that in the past before. But I think health's the main concern. He's been injured again. I think he's questionable to play next week. I think Brett Hundley's their backup, so he'd be playing in his stead if he is injured for next week and everything. But I don't know. He concerns me a little bit. I don't really know what it is. I just think the consistency isn't there yet. Maybe he starts to get in a rhythm next year, but it's always a question of next year with guys like this. So I'm kind of concerned about that aspect. You can't keep giving him rope. You need to actually see results at some point consistently. He's giving you results, out of order with different spurts during the entirety of the year, but you need consistency to be a great NFL quarterback. So that's all I'm trying to say. But also,
he's in the running for MVP. So I just think that it's just his first year. So he has to come correct next year, get some help, and he'll be all right.
Well, it's his second year, but it's just like third year is kind of a big jump year. So we'll see if that actually happening. But 49ers, CJ Beathard, who third string starting the year, 13-22, 182 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. That was a great performance to see from the third string quarterback in San Francisco. Also, Jeffrey Wilson, who's pretty much broken out of the scene against very weird teams, the Cardinals and Patriots too. 22 carries, 183 yards, and 8.3 yards a carry. Who the hell is this kid?
It matters when it matters most.
Yeah, but can you give me like an update? Like, who is this kid? Like, I don't really know who he is.
I'm not. Your guess is as good as mine, but I'm glad we have him on our team, to be honest with you.
This is why we have you here.
He's got has been off and on throughout the year, due to various injuries, things has been going on with Mostert, and so he's been off and on. But like I said, if you play hard when it counts, he has definitely did that.
For sure. Kev, who is he?
It says he went to North Texas.
North Texas.
He's been on the 49ers for the whole year. I think he's like the third string or something.
Is he a rookie?
No, second year.
Second year. Did you play it all last year?
Yeah.
You did? A little bit?
Yep. Yeah, a little bit.
Gotcha.
And even 2018 he did too.
Okay, so keep an eye on him. Maybe he
That
is
was
a
his
star.
third year. He has 2 years under his belt, so it's his third year.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Maybe something down the road. Who knows?
Yep.
You pull. I swear you pull running backs out of your ass in San Francisco. Like I don't know how you do it. It's a scheme. I know it is a scheme because you have a great blocking scheme with what's his name, with Shanahan out there, and it's impressive to see. That's why you might trade Garoppolo in the offseason, which we'll get to later because I want to talk about that with the Patriots.
And all right, yeah, we'll get to it later because I'm thinking of some people.
Yeah, for sure. All right, next game, Miami and Vegas, 26-25 is the final score. Miami, which was this was a huge victory for Miami here. They now control their own fate going into Week 17. They were this close to losing their playoff berth. This close.
Absolutely.
A Fitzmagic beard hair away from losing their playoff hopes. Crazy. And speaking of Fitzmagic, Tua Tagovailoa is now making it a habit to choking in games in early fourth quarter situations, and they bring in Fitzmagic to close the game out. It's an interesting dynamic there. You never really see NFL teams in the league play 2 quarterback systems like this, and this has been kind of a common theme for the Miami the past 2-3 weeks. What do you make of that, Chris? He's shrugging, folks.
I don't know. Kev, you can pull this up. I've been trying to tell you guys, you give these guys too much credit. The pressure gets real, and then it's then things happen. So I've been saying this. It was an interesting game. I can tell you that it was definitely an interesting game. But Fitzmagic, the guy that I've been promoting this whole season, that he should be the starter. He should be playing right now, and he's the one that gets the team going. He should have been there, man. And then he comes in like a Nick Foles did before in Philly, and comes out with a win. He does his job. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be the wow spectacular thing from a veteran like Fitzpatrick. You know what I'm saying? Not as much as you would with like a younger guy who's just trying to make a chance. Make a hope and prayer. Like he's more strategic and understands where he needs to go. So and this just proved it to me. Is like he threw a pass and got his head snatched off. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? And these are things that you got to understand with Ryan Fitzpatrick, man. He's a beast.
Yeah. Well, 2 things. One, you got to bring up Nick Foles. Like we're talking about the Dolphins and the Raiders. You bring up when he beats us in the Super Bowl. Like really, you got to bring that up.
Yeah.
But anyway, you're right. Fitzmagic almost got decapitated. They took his face mask and went the other way around like Daffy freaking Duck with his bill. It was crazy. I don't know. It was obviously called a face mask and everything, but still, wild throw. He made the throw. He made the completion without seeing it. His face was behind his body, and he still made the throw. So shout out to Fitzpatrick. I love the guy. He's easily one of the most charismatic quarterbacks in the league. So easy to love because he's so easygoing and so just funny and everything. I remember a couple years ago he wore Deshaun Jackson's outfit in the press conference. I was just about
to say that. I was like, I like that. He put the chain on the taco meat, had his shirt out. I'm like, hey, I like this Fitzpatrick.
No, he had the drip. But it was funny though. I remember one of the reporters asked him like, "Is any of that yours?" He's like, "The chest hair is mine." Yeah, that's a great line too. But anyway, Fitzmagic comes and saves the day. An interesting storyline now too. I was reading up on some rumor mill stuff. I heard some stuff getting scattered around the league a little bit. I got my sources plugged in here and there, and I heard, and this might be a rumor, might be a way to try to get some draft pick capital. But I heard the Miami Dolphins are considering taking Justin Fields if he starts to slide in the first round. And I wonder if that's just more of a ploy to try to get some draft anticipation, try to get some trade interest in their couple draft picks. They have 2 draft picks in the first round, one being the 4th overall pick now because they have it from the Laramie Tunsil trade with Houston. So maybe a QB team sees that report and says, hey, maybe I want to go get up and get Justin Fields, but Miami's standing in the way. Mm-hmm. And that seems quite the contrary to what was happening last season. They take Tua Tagovailoa and everybody's like, oh, this is the heir apparent. This is the guy to come in. Bama kid can be the starter for the next 10, 15 years. He's the next franchise quarterback of the Miami Dolphins. But now in the past couple of weeks, you see Fitzpatrick come in really meaningful, important moments. They're making a playoff run. They don't really trust Tua to be in the game. Mm-hmm. Maybe this rumor has some stock in it. Chris, what do you think about this rumor? Do you think it has legs, or do you think it's more just trying to get some more anticipation around the draft?
Yeah, man, it's just fluff. We know that players. I mean that the GMs and the higher ups. That's the game that they play. Trying to get certain people in certain spots. Trying to push teams out of chances of getting one thing. I guess would change the whole dynamic of their game. People. There's people out there that actually think. That thinks like this and tries to think ahead of the game and acts like they're out there playing poker. So I don't have any. I don't think it has any validity to it. Honestly, you just drafted somebody first round. You know what I'm saying? We ain't even giving them a shot, and you knew the type. I mean, what type of time it was going to be because he was coming in hurt. So I don't have any. I don't believe it. If they was just to bring somebody in, I would believe that more than them trying to draft another first round quarterback.
Yeah, it would be a consecutive top 5 selection for them. They took 2, I think, 5th overall this year. They would take Fields 4th overall, or wherever the hell the draft ends up shaking out with the picks and the order and everything. But still, that would be like a Josh Rosen-esque situation. They take Rosen 10th overall, the Cardinals, and then they took Kyler Murray 1st overall the following year. So,
which is rare.
It's rare. That's what I'm saying. So keep your eye on that if you're a Dolphins fan. It's probably just to get some, like Chris said, fluff, trying to get some more anticipation on your draft pick and maybe trade down. Because you do have 2 draft picks in the first round already. Maybe make it 3. So maybe we'll just keep an eye on that. But anyway, next game.
Whoa. We cannot slide past Darren Waller.
Darren Waller's a monster.
Darren Waller. All right, listen. I give my flowers and I give my kudos to Travis Kelce. He is a beast. What he is doing this year is legendary. He is solidifying himself in the NFL, honestly.
Right.
This guy, Darren Waller, though, they end up getting another quarterback next year, or they let what's the backup quarterback for him?
Marcus Mariota, baby.
Marcus Mariota. Let them get started together. He might be that one. He might be that next receiver who's like, all right, yeah, you seen what Travis Kelce did, but let me show you what I'm about to do.
For sure. No, Waller is an absolute monster. It's really cool to see them both in the same division. They'll be in the same division for at least the next 5 years before Kelce ends up leaving a free agency, because I guarantee you, with Mahomes signing a $500 million contract, there's going to be zero room for Kelce after a few years. Zero. So keep that in mind as well, because people forget about that all the time. You saw it with the Rams, how they mismanaged their cap horribly. They gave Jared Goff $130 million, whatever the hell it was, and he takes up 25% of your salary cap. That impedes you from signing your need to sign guys. That's what happens. It happens every single year, and teams continue to fall into the trap. They're like, oh, we need to pay our franchise guy. We're going to give him 30% of our salary cap. Well, you're screwing yourself. You're putting yourself into a corner. You can't pay the guys you need to win. Yeah. Yes, you need a franchise quarterback first and foremost. I agree with you. But it's 11-person game. You can't play 1 on 11. You need pieces around him. So just keep that in mind too. But
it would be, it could be a play. To be honest with you, they could possibly talked about lessening his contract once other people needs a little bit more money. Like it's like this. The thing is like, if you're already rich, in Patrick Mahomes' case, he's not rich, he's wealthy.
He has fuck you money. That's what he has.
Yeah. Honestly, he could honestly be like, all right, man, you could take a little bit off after a while, because it's like what I got right now is I got it. I'm good.
I feel like in sports right now, there's a huge line between who will actually take the team first mentality versus me mentality. There's a huge line to be drawn there. I feel like it's very polar opposites right now. It's pretty split in half as well, because people aren't focused on the team anymore. They're focused on their own brand, themselves,
absolutely,
and making their money while they can. So it'll be an interesting dynamic to see if that actually comes true, whether Mahomes will actually lower his number, or if he takes the selfish road and says, hey, I want to get paid right now. You can't lower my salary cap. So we'll see.
If you want more championships, that's what's going to have to happen. We've seen it with Tom Brady, and we can see it now, or we can't. You know what I'm saying? But I hopefully we do see it, because I want to see Kansas City, go on a little dynasty, because they deserve it. It's hard
for sure. For sure.
Even though that, my Niners need to get their stuff together. It would be good to see Kansas City fighting out there.
Definitely. Next game, Pittsburgh, Indianapolis, a crazy comeback. 28-24 is the final score. The Steelers, who were down 21-7 at half, mount a huge comeback and end up winning 28-24 in the fourth quarter here. They score 14 unanswered in the fourth. Phillip Rivers, this epitomized what the Colts are. They're a team that messes up your schedule and your seating. That's all they are. They've been frauds. They continue to be frauds. They are frauds, point blank, period. Phillip Rivers, 21-34, 270 yards, a touchdown and a pick. Pedestrian. And I know it's hard because the Steelers still have a good defense. Even though Steelers are frauds too, they have a good defense. But it's tough to see the Colts continue to do this. You bring in a veteran quarterback and think we'll put it over the top here. Phillip Rivers was never going to be that guy. There's a reason the Chargers got rid of him in the first place. This is not Peyton Manning. This is not Tom Brady. This is not any of those great that left their original team to take on another journey and maybe push them to greatness. This is not him. This is Phillip Rivers. This is just not the guy to solve your problem. And granted, you have Jacoby Brissett, who probably isn't ready to be a starter yet. He's not. Could he be a starter short term while they draft the next guy? Yeah, he could. So I don't understand why you pay Phillip Rivers that much money to bring him in just to have a 10-5 season that won't go anywhere. This is not going to do anything. They're not going to make a run in the playoffs. Are you kidding me? But I will say, the one bright spot of this team, Jonathan Taylor, who we've been on since week one.
Yeah.
18 carries, 74 yards, and a couple touchdowns with a crazy monster run in the first half, 4.1 yards a carry. But this dude's just a monster powering this offense right now. But not that will mean much because they'll see their season will be done week one of the playoffs, I guarantee you. But Pittsburgh, the other side
is a baller too. I think there will be a special tandem back there.
For sure. And on Pittsburgh side of the ball here, Ben Roethlisberger had a tough first half and then grinded out the second half here. 34-49, 341 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. After a bleak performance the week before, Pittsburgh finally gets the wheels turning in the right direction. They lose 3 straight games, finally get a win here, and maybe start to get hot again at the right time as the playoffs approach only in 2 weeks. So we'll see if the Pittsburgh can turn it around here. This was a good start. But if anything, if they're going to make any kind of run, James Conner needs to get his ass on track because he's not on track right now. He's been flailing. He's been inconsistent. He has not been the elite running back that he has been in years past. James Conner, shape up or your team is not going anywhere.
Yeah, well, 5 attempts for 21 yards. That's hard. You're talking about you're around professionals who are trying to win, and we need everybody at their best, and you're not playing at your best. I'm looking into getting some more people out there to help push you to go a little bit harder or to substitute you up out of there because it's not happening with him right now. I don't understand because I'm a huge fan of him and everything he's went through. So I've been following him since college, and I thought he would have been a monster in the NFL, and he was doing it. But I don't know what's going on now. If it's an injury that he's trying to hide, he's just trying to get through the season with. I don't know, but we need to see more from him.
James Conner, especially, yes, for sure. Next game, 17-14. Guess the game. The Chiefs and the Falcons. 17 points on the Falcons defense. And I want to say this too. Patrick Mahomes set an NFL record this year. Want to know what it's for? Most dropped interceptions. He has 16 dropped picks this year. 16. That is dumb luck. He's dumb luck.
He's a gunslinger.
He is, but
he's one of those. He's one of those Brett Favre's where he's out there and you'd be like, damn, I wish he didn't throw that. But then you turn around and you like, damn, I can't believe he threw that ball and he scored that touchdown. He fit it in there. He got that. No,
I like the cockiness of it, but the fact remains. All right, so take half of those picks back, right? So say instead of 16, you have 8, right?
They're drop picks.
No, what I'm saying. So say 8 of those actually happen. Say half of those happen. They're 14-1. I guarantee that results in at least 2 to 3 more losses, and that drastically changes the playoff seeding, and it drastically changes the fact that you have a first round bye. And without a first round bye, it's been proven in the past to be significantly harder to win a chip. So I'm just saying it worked out this season, and I feel like that's a 1 in a million chance of happening. 16 drop picks. Next year might not be so lucky. That's all I'm trying to say. In an interesting game too, the Falcons, who are 4-11, have consistently played great teams very well and poor teams horribly. Mm-hmm. Horribly. It's like it's the worst of both worlds. Not the best of both worlds, the worst of both worlds. This team,
competition.
It's wild to me. And we talked about this earlier in the year as well. Matt Ryan, probably his last year in Atlanta. We've been saying this for a while, at least I have been, since really the beginning of the season, since that horrible week 1 start. And now I've been saying for a couple weeks now, Julio Jones might be on the trade block, and the rumors are starting to swirl officially. Schefter reported just a couple days ago that Julio Jones will be available for trade, or at least they'll be able to listen for trades for Julio Jones this offseason, which I think is probably best. And I love Julio Jones. I do. I have a ton of respect for the guy, but at a certain point, you need to start over. You need to start fresh. This team has not been the same since they lost 20-3. Since 28-3 in Super Bowl 51, this team has not been the same. Physically, emotional, spiritually, anything. They haven't. They don't have an identity. They fired their head coach earlier this season. Their quarterback's getting older. Their receivers getting older. It's time to move on and start fresh in Atlanta. I've been saying it for a while now, but keep your eye on that. Julio Jones, I don't think will be in Atlanta next year.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't confirm it for sure that he wouldn't be there next year because you still have to give up a lot for this guy. And are there going to be people out there that's willing to give up that much? But I would say that if you want to, and I'm speaking to Julio Jones now, if you want to see your money grow and you want to see real championships and what real winning feels like and looks like in a town that's won multiple championships, I'm talking about the San Francisco 49ers. Come to our squad, baby, because we need somebody like that on our team. We can for sure shuffle some things around to get that going right there, and then come over here to San Fran. We got legends. I'm talking about you out there working out with Jerry Rice. You know what I'm saying? Terrell Owens. You know, you got all these great guys out here that you can learn from, and I already know that he's really good friends with Terrell Owens. They hang out together in LA and a lot, and they work out and stuff. So you know what I'm saying. I hope that will be him help pushing them along. Like, hey man, hey, come on man, go over there to San Fran, man. I'm telling you, you're gonna have the time of your life. You know what I'm saying? You can put your money in some tech. You know, let that grow. Then you're looking out, and you looking when you're done playing football that your money didn't improve 3, 4 times than what you already initially had. So it's like, bro, why not come all the way over here to San Fran and play it against the best of the best in the world and show them that you are the best. You know?
You guys barely pass. Why would he want to go there?
I said we can for sure shuffle some things around. And speaking of not passing, do we not remember me saying this like two, three episodes ago when I said that I understand how we play and it's cool, but I just don't think Shanahan is just a coach for us with this offense that he's implemented? I've said that. We are a throwing team. We are known for throwing the ball and catching touchdowns and winning Super Bowls. Are we not?
You are, but it's not who your identity is now.
All right. And I know. And that's what I'm saying is that we can shuffle some things around, and nobody on our team, on our offense, I should say, is set in stone to where it's like, no, we can't switch nothing up if we get this dude up in here. No, there's no way. There's nobody. I don't
Chris, if you're inferring right now, they would fire Kyle Shanahan, just bring in Julio Jones, who's like 35 years old. That's not going to happen.
Fire him. I don't care. Get him out of there. I don't care.
I give that.
Let somebody like that go. I can see if it's like the third best, fourth best. Then it's like, is he really still trying to play? Is he still taking care of his body? No. This is the number one wide receiver one of the best wide receivers in the NFL right now, bar none. If he puts his cleats on and he's healthy and he's ready to go, by far. I
give that a negative 5% chance of happening. But I will say one team that could make a offer on him, the Green Bay Packers. I said this at the trade deadline.
That's not happening, bro.
It's more realistic than the freaking San Francisco 49ers.
No, he's coming to the 49ers. I'm speaking it into existence right now, bro.
Chris is manifesting on Stafford and Matthews right now.
We need that.
But anyway, no. But back to Green Bay though, because we did a trade deadline special a while ago. It's on Spotify and app and all that stuff. Oh, by the way, before I forget here, I'll say at the beginning of the episode as well. we're on a new playlist now. We're no longer on Boston's Big Three playlist. We're on our own playlist on Spotify and Apple, which is pretty cool. We kind of upgraded the world. Made Chris doing a little dance there. That's pretty cool. So yeah, check us out now on Stafford and Matthews on Spotify and Apple. We're on our own playlist now, which is pretty cool. So you can check that out. Not to scroll through all the Boston's Big Three episodes too. So that's pretty cool too. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Green Bay. We did a trade special a while ago talking about the deadline. And Julio Jones was still in consideration to be traded before, week 8 passed. And I was like, hey, why not Green Bay? They're making a run right now. They almost traded for Will Fuller at the deadline. Things fell apart last minute. And you see Aaron Rodgers, your boy, going off 45 touchdowns, 4 picks, something like that. And I do wonder whether or not that if they make a deep playoff run this year, if they even win this year, maybe Matt LaFleur's like, hey, want to double up, want to do Aaron Rodgers kind of last season, right? Maybe his last season next year. They drafted Jordan Love for a reason. So, hey, maybe they go one last hurrah in Green Bay, one last hurrah for Aaron Rodgers. They'd bring in Julio Jones, an all-time talent, and pair him with Devontae Adams. That's a crazy, crazy offense.
You are so disrespectful, Joe. I swear to you.
Why?
You are so disrespectful.
What did I say?
Oh, this is probably going to be his last year, so.
It could be. It very well could be.
What are you talking about, Joe?
Chris, they drafted a quarterback in the first round.
What is the history of Green Bay and quarterbacks? Do they always draft a quarterback prematurely and then they just let them sit there and they grow and then they come out and they end up being great with Burt Scott and then fucking whoever else came after him, then fucking Brett Favre, then you got Aaron Rodgers. Is like, they know what they're doing, Joe. Stop trying to push them ahead. I was just telling my boy. I was just telling my uncle, not my boy. I was just telling my uncle on the phone earlier today. I was like, bro, if I wasn't, I said, bro, if I wasn't a diehard Niners fan and I needed a team, I'd be a Green Bay fan. Like, honestly, I'd be a Green Bay fan. They just know how to do it right.
Oh yeah, well, Chris, you're wrong on the Brett Favre thing. They traded for him. He was in Atlanta. Atlanta drafted him, and they traded for him. And he started the next year. So that's one. Two, I'll give you the Rodgers point because the Rodgers point actually makes sense. Start. Okay, yeah, but you okay. All right, so two examples.
Aaron Rodgers.
Two examples. They've been around since 1960 something.
2 out of 3. That's passing.
Okay, whatever.
Come on, man. I don't. Come on, man. You talking to a guy who went through school like, hey, am I passing? All right, that's good enough there.
All right, whatever. All right, next game, Chicago, Jacksonville, 41-17. If Mitch Trubisky ever dropped 41 points in my head, I'd kill myself. Mitch Trubisky, 24-35, 265 yards, 2 touchdowns. It's like, dude, and yeah, I get your Jacksonville. You're probably better off losing so you can secure number 1 overall draft pick, which they did indeed do this week. The Jacksonville Jaguars are now slotted officially to pick number 1 overall in the 2020 NFL draft. They'll be taking Trevor Lawrence, no doubt in my mind, the quarterback from Clemson there. But yeah, to lose that badly against Mitch Trubisky must be demoralizing for any player on that team. I don't care if you're Gardner Minshew or what's his name. I was gonna say Talbot Smith, but he's in jail right now. He is not on the team anymore. But anyway, whoever, Jake Luton, whatever. You're a better man than me, Chris. I'm sorry, but anyway, 41-17 is the final score. Jacksonville secures number 1 overall draft pick. And that's pretty much all I have to say about this game. There's like nothing else to talk about this game. Mitch Trubisky dropped 41 points in Jacksonville Jaguars. That's just like a weird sentence to say in 2020, but that's it.
Welcome to Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence.
And I'm sure he's thrilled. I'm sure he's thrilled. He avoided the Jets. The Jets literally can't lose right. They can't lose right. You're 0-1. When they win? Week 14? You're 0-13. You basically have it locked up. And you win a game. And then you know what? You're not out yet. You still have a shot to do it, to get secured number 1 overall draft pick. And then you win again with Sam Darnold and Braxton Berrios. It's like, what the hell? Adam Gase is a nightmare waiting to happen. And I heard a rumor, and I really hope to God it's not true, but I heard a rumor on New England radio, and it was circulating all week, that if Gase gets fired this offseason, they want to bring him into New England as an offensive assistant. I don't want this guy sniffing my team. I don't want this guy. I don't want to touch this guy with a 30. I do not want to touch this guy with a 39.5-foot pole. He is the Grinch. I do not want him near Gillette Stadium. I'll put in a ban myself. I'll call Charlie Baker. I'm like, this guy can't come in. He has COVID. I can't do this right now. He's not allowed in the stadium. I can't do it. If Adam Gase is a Patriots coordinator, I'm going to lose my freaking.
Joe, I thought we jumped the bandwagon. I thought we was with the Saints now. Come on, man. Stick with it.
I mean,
stick with it. Hey, but listen, I feel like now that I'm like, more stuff is coming out about Gates and and everything, and you start looking back and thinking about everything that's going on that happened this past year. What if none of this was in his control? Like, what if none of this was in his control at all? They're saying, tank the game, tank the game, tank the game, tank the game, tank the game. We need Trevor Lawrence. Like, what if that's what it was? And then he was like, you know what? If they're going to kick me out and this is how they talking about me and slandering my name and all this and that, because if you're slandering somebody's name, you're making them look out to be that bad. Who else would pick him up to be a coach? Where else is he going to get? Where else is he going to get a job to feed his family?
Apparently New England. That's what I heard, but I hope it's not true. I really hope it's not true. But listen, anyway.
Hey, I'm just saying, it's like, what if he was just like, you know what? Let me just give them a big fuck you. And let's go out here and do this. Let's do this the way that we want to do this.
I mean, it's possible.
We don't hear that he done lost the locker room. We don't hear none of that. We just hear that he's just a bad coach.
I mean, Chris, I can't prove otherwise. I can't say you're wrong because there's no way to verify that. But it's an interesting theory. I don't mind that theory actually. I don't mind it.
I just like to think about things. That's all.
Chris's cooked up concoctions right there. That was a pretty good one. Anyway, next game. Cincy and Houston, 37-31. A surprisingly supercharged game for two teams that have just been bad. Period. Point blank period this year. I mean, the Bengals are 4-10-1. They don't have their starting quarterback. Oh God, Chris has COVID. He's coughing up a storm. Anyway,
that out there in the earth.
There we go. And Houston's 4-11, just with a demoralizing team right now, with Deshaun Watson just sludging along, trying to get out of 2020. But yeah, 37-31 is the final score here. Brandon Allen, who is a starter for Cincinnati, if you guys didn't know his name, 29-37, 371 yards and 2 touchdowns. Not a bad game for the unknown quarterback in Cincinnati. Might be a good backup for Joe Burrow next year. Just keep that in mind also. But I gotta say, if you're Deshaun Watson, you're just looking at this team and you're losing to Cincinnati without Joe Burrow. It's not even like a respectable. It's Brandon Allen. It's like, when am I getting out? I'm calling my agent right now. It's like, I need to get the hell out of Dodge. This is not the place I want to be in the future. Just get me out. I signed a contract. I shouldn't have done it. Just get me out. I don't want to be here anymore. And I'm serious. Like, wouldn't you do the same thing if you're Deshaun Watson? I would.
No, I wouldn't. We'd have to definitely have a real conversation about getting somebody in there, but I wouldn't leave after you just changed my whole life. Right? You've set me up for the rest of my life. I'm not just about to jump bail.
Chris is a loyal guy. I like that. I like that a lot.
Hey, that's how I played. That's the team. Why the teams I went to is off of loyalty.
There we go. All right, next game. Ravens Giants, 27-13 is the final score. Baltimore obviously took the game here, and they're catching fire at the right time. They need Miami to lose this week, and I think they need the Colts to lose this week in order for them to make the playoffs here. They're 10-5. They're very hot right now. They're hitting the stride the exact right time they need to. Am I sold they'll make a deep run if they make it? We'll see if they get favorable matchups. I think if they play the Steelers, they can knock the Steelers off the first round. I'm just saying. I think it's a very distinct possibility. Pittsburgh has proven to me that they're frauds. I've said it multiple times. I've said it very emphatically. I've said it very loudly. I've said it very comically the past few weeks, but it's true. 3 straight games. They finally won a game against Old Man Rivers, who I don't care. The Colts are frauds too. It's a throwaway game for me. I don't care. But yeah, if Baltimore plays Pittsburgh in the first round, I think they could probably take that victory out there. But yeah, Daniel Jones actually didn't have a bad game on the other side of the football here. 24-41, 252 yards and a touchdown, no turnovers. And I mean, he has Wayne Gallman behind him as a running back right now. With no Saquon, obviously, he's been out for the majority of the year with an ACL injury. And people have gotten a lot of DMs lately about them saying, hey, is Daniel Jones done in New York? Are they going to draft the guy this year? I mean, I can't say for sure they won't draft the guy, but I don't understand why they would. I mean, considering Daniel Jones came in as a full-time starter only this year to have a starting running back, the star of the offense, really, Saquon Barkley, to go down with an ACL injury, and then have guys like Sterling Shepard go down multiple times during the year. Evan Engram just refused to live up to his expectations. He doesn't do it week in and week out. He just, how do I describe this? Well, as his fantasy owner, it's disappointing. I'll say that. But just in general, if I'm a GM here, he has all the intangibles. He's smart. No, take that back. He's athletic. He's fast. He has all the intangibles you look for as a player.
Mhm.
The thing I question is whether or not he has the ability up here in his head. Can he put it together in his brain? You've seen players like you played with before. Ryan Mallett is the case point blank example here. Rocket for an arm. Throw the ball 95 yards down the field. Decently accurate, decent mobility. He just didn't have it up here. He didn't have it in his head. So I wonder if Evan Ingram's the same situation. But if I'm New York, I'm keeping Daniel Jones for at least one more year. I really have no interest in shipping Daniel Jones off this offseason. I think he deserves one more, not even one more, just a shot, a real bona fide shot with his whole offense healthy.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely right there with you. I'm not writing them off. I just think that, things just went terribly wrong. I feel like what you said about Evan Ingram, about something wrong with him. I think that's more so with him than with Daniel Jones.
Yep.
But that's another story. Yeah, just give him another shot, man. I think he'll come out better. I mean, obviously, we heard that he went out and got some help at quarterback in this past offseason. So, what he could get. And so now he's going to have another offseason, a whole full offseason where he's going to be able to grow and get better. Because, like I said, in the beginning of the season, I was advocating for him to be successful in this league this year. So I think I'm not just going to write him off. I think he's going to prove a lot of people wrong next year.
We finally agree on something. This is happy. This is a great moment. Stafford and Matthews agreeing. That's awesome. Anyway, also, shout out Des Bryant. 2 games, 2 touchdowns in consecutive weeks. That's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
1 catch, 8 yards in a score. Throw up the X. I mean, I love seeing this guy back healthy.
And I just like the black and purple on him now. Like that fits him way more than seeing him in any other jersey.
You have that jersey, right? You still have yours from Baltimore, right?
Who, mine's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the black one. That's a sexy jersey. Like an underrated jersey. It's a very, very sexy jersey. Speaking of jerseys,
black are the nastiest ones. So
what's up?
The black jerseys are the nastiest ones.
Oh, for sure. But speaking of jerseys, where's mine, Chris? I'm waiting.
Bro, I got it. It's I gotta iron it out. I gotta clean it. I gotta iron it. You know what I'm saying? I gotta make sure I get it looking right.
All right. I'm waiting for it, Doug.
Big jerseys, man. I can't just.
I got you. I want a little signature there too. I want the number. I want a little bit there.
Bro. Who you talking to?
My guy.
It's me.
There we go. Anyway, next game here. Panthers football team, 20-13. Washington, this is a big storyline this week. Dwayne Haskins, first round pick last year, 15th overall, gets released. Gets cut after just a season with the team. Caught at a strip club last week, out of mask, gets fined by the team, and he loses his captain patch. You think he learned a lesson? He doesn't. He goes out there after Alex Smith can't, do it in pregame because of his injury, and stinks it up against the Carolina Panthers, who are 5-10. Gets pulled for Taylor Heinicke.
Mm-hmm.
Who the fuck is Taylor Heinicke? XFL star, apparently, and played for the Vikings a couple of seasons ago. He gets pulled for that jamoke and gets cut the next day. This guy does not have any emotional or professional maturity whatsoever. You're in the middle of a freaking pandemic. You lose a football game, and the first thought in your mind is, let's go to a strip club, not wear a mask. You're a moron. You are literally a moron, and he gets cut. And he should get cut. He absolutely should get cut. He should not be on this football team anymore. And I'm surprised Ron Rivera himself, who is notoriously hard-nosed when it comes to these kind of matters, would even consider playing him. I would have started Heinicke. You're 6-9. You're not going to make the playoffs anyway. So you might as well start the other guy over the guy who just first of all blatantly disrespected your team, yourself, and the fact that you're in the middle of a pandemic. I mean, like what the hell is going through this kid's mind? But I will pose one question: where is this guy going to end up?
home. That's where he's going. Straight to the house. Whatever house he bought, you better gear up because that's where you're gonna be at for the rest of your time.
He'll be on the couch for a while, yeah, I'm sure. But I heard a report today was what 5 or 6 teams interested in bringing him on. I'm assuming one would be Pittsburgh, maybe one Carolina.
Maybe the Patriots.
Not with Bill Belichick. I guarantee you it's not with Bill Belichick. That's not
somebody.
Yeah, but it's not going to be Dwayne Haskins. Like I'll put my mortgage on that one.
Hey, you know what? I'm on to you and Kev now. Now that I'm thinking about it, you just over here talking about Kev. Who's your favorite player? Tom Brady. And I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, hey, where do you live at? Oh, New York. Oh, the number one hated place. And I'm thinking of like, Joe is bullshit. He picked this guy. He picked Kev. Y'all two have been best friends this whole time, and you like, oh yeah, he's an intern. Like we just met him. Like what? Get out of here, man. Now I know. Now I know what I got to go up against. 2 Tom Brady best friends has been best friends since diaper days.
Kev, clear this up.
He's on to us.
That's what I'm talking about, man. I knew it, man.
Kev,
I'm just thinking. I'm like, why is Kev always siding with him? They're always on the same side.
Well, first of all, always siding is his first episode. We've agreed on 2 things. And number 2,
no, I'm talking about what the win percentages. He giving out exact win percentages and who's
bro. It's he's just doing the math. It's his job.
How do we go from being neck to neck to how he's just blowing me out now? Like there's no way.
Well, no, actually I have the answer for that. I just picked more games right than you. That's what she says it works.
The numbers don't lie.
The numbers don't lie. Kev chiming in at the right time. Kev, threw me under the bus there. God, you threw me under the bus. Jesus.
I got to try to play the middleman, you know?
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. I like that, though. Anyway, next game here, because I don't want to talk about this game anymore. Browns-Jets. And I will give the Browns a break here because their 4 top receivers, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Jarvis Landry, and their other 2 guys were out with COVID. They were close contact, deemed too risky to play, and Cleveland had to get their shit together on Sunday morning. They practiced in a parking garage going over plays with Baker Mayfield because they had no time to prepare for this.
Yeah.
So give them a break. Yes, the Jets, the 2-13 Jets, it's a bad loss. But still, I mean, I give him a break. I mean, if I went out there without any chemistry, without any significant talent throwing to, I understand that. And Baker Mayfield isn't good anyway, so I get it. I understand if you're Cleveland, you don't win this game. I get it. But if you're New York, why do you want to win this game? That's what I keep questioning. Like, why would you even want to win this game? I don't get it.
Maybe the receivers were out at a strip club with no mask on.
It could be. It could be. You don't know. You don't know, but it could be. It very well could be.
I don't know. I'm just trying to put 2 and 2 together. But
yep. And actually, I want to start
cut over there.
Yeah, on the Jet side of the ball, Sam.
If that's the guideline on it.
Yeah, on the Jet side of the ball, Sam Darnold, slinging Sammy Jr. 16 of 32, 175 yards, 2 touchdowns, no turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
And this prompted a great question in my head because, as you guys know, I'm a draft guru. And I was looking over my numbers here and the sheets and everything. And now that Jacksonville is now secured with the number 1 overall draft pick, I am starting to get a sense they might not take a quarterback number 2 overall. Yeah, if you're number 1, you take Trevor Lawrence because obviously he's Trevor Lawrence, best quarterback prospect in 10, 12 years. I understand that 100%. But if you're the Jets right now, right, you're 2-13, you have no shot at getting number 1 back. You're slotted number 2. That's it. You have Justin Fields at number 2 will be available. Is he worth number 2? Probably not. You have Zach Wilson, but he's probably more towards the back teens. You have Penei Sewell, who's the number 1, offensive line prospect I've ever seen. Literally, I've ever seen that. That includes Quentin Nelson, that speaks volumes if you guys study that tape. But looking at number 2, and I'm thinking they're gonna trade this pick. They're gonna bait someone at number 2 if they're smart enough. That's a big if. If the front office is smart enough to actually bait someone correctly, that's a big if. But I think their plan going into the draft is going to be bait someone number 2, trade into the low 10, trade into the low, like 8, 9, 10, that range, or the low teens. Trade back, get a quarterback like Zach Wilson at BYU, a guy like Trey Lance at North Dakota State, even a guy like Mac Jones if they really love him. Get an extra pick in the mid rounds, 2nd, 3rd, 4th even. And you have another pick in the first round at like 25, 26. You can take a tight end or whoever the hell, whatever gets a fight under your ass. At tight end, receiver, they have a lot of work to do off at the side of the ball anyway. It doesn't really matter. But actually, the Jets can actually come out looking like, real. I don't want to say cerebral because the Jets aren't a smart franchise. I don't want to compliment them too much. I don't want to give them too much credit.
Yeah,
But they have a shot here to actually walk away winners for the first time in a long time in the NFL draft. That's all I'm going to say.
do what with it? With what coach?
That remains to be seen. We don't. At this point, it'll be Bill O'Brien. At this point, it'll be Bill O'Brien. If we're really thinking about it, it might be Bill O'Brien. If you really want to think about it, it could be because there's not a lot of qualified guys I hire from the Jets head coach. I mean, I guess it could be the guy. Who's your defensive coordinator again? The 49ers defensive coordinator. What's his name?
You said defensive coordinator?
Yeah, the guy who was up for the job a couple years ago.
Oh, you talking about damn, you make me draw a damn blank.
Kev, let's go. 49ers defensive coordinator.
I gotta look it up too.
No, because he was a candidate for a job last year and he turned it down, I think, or they tendered him until they couldn't sign him or something like that. What's his name?
Robert Saleh.
Robert Saleh. Yeah, he's bald. He's like built as
Yeah.
fuck. Yeah, I know that guy. Anyway, yeah, but I guess he could be a candidate for the Jets too. But I don't really have a lot of names in mind for them. But I'm just saying, they have a shot to not look like asses in the draft for the first time in a long time. That's a big step. That's a big step in the right direction for the New York Jets. That's all I'm gonna say. Big step in the right direction.
All right, I guess you got it.
I always got it. Don't give me that tone. I always got it. Anyway, Broncos Chargers 19-16 is the final score. Justin Herbert 28 passing touchdowns on the season. Now is an NFL rookie record, most of all time by an NFL quarterback as a rookie. Just very impressive. He hasn't had a lot of quality wins this year. I think Anthony Lynn's probably a big reason behind that. His defense hasn't been stellar as well. But still a very cool accomplishment from Justin Herbert. He'll be starting the league for a very, very long time. On the Broncos side of the football, Drew Lock didn't have a great game, didn't have a bad game. And it really came out now that Vic Fangio, who's the head coach of the Denver Broncos, will be head coach moving forward next season. And it also appears Drew Lock will at least get one more shot with a healthy Courtland Sutton next season before they decide to move on, if they move on at all, from the former Missouri quarterback. So a couple of up-and-coming quarterbacks here, hopefully for Drew Lock's sake. Interesting division win here. An interesting division period. You have the Raiders now probably draft a quarterback this upcoming draft. You have Patrick Mahomes, you have Justin Herbert, you have Drew Lock. It's going to be a very competitive division in a couple of years. Yeah. Very, very entertaining division, very interesting division, a very quarterback-driven division. So just keep in mind your eye on the AFC West. Pretty cool division.
Hey, it is. I mean, I can't go wrong. I want to go against it so bad. But I can't. It's
just like disagreeing with me.
It's pretty evident. It's just not a lot of. This isn't like back in the day where you just had a whole slew of amazing quarterbacks that are just playing in every city. Like no, it's just coming slim to none around here. And once you get a little bit of flash or a little bit of luck on your side, it's gonna come flooding in. So yeah, I can see it happening for sure.
Definitely. Next game, Dallas and Philadelphia. And by the way, I did not see this coming. 37-17 is the final score. Dallas wallops Jalen Hurts and the Eagles behind Andy Dalton, the Red Rifle. What are these stats here? What the hell? My screen protector sucks. Anyway, Andy Dalton, 22 of 30, 377 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a pick. Granted, a pick, but still. And this is the game that I've been kind of waiting for here because it's intriguing. I love Jalen Hurts, and eventually every guy has their welcome to the NFL moment. Mm-hmm. This was Jalen Hurts' moment.
Absolutely.
Losing to Dallas, this was his moment. And I'm wondering now, week 17, it doesn't really mean a lot. You're not going to make the playoffs at 4-10-1. But I want to see how he responds. This is probably mentally very tough for a guy, especially a rookie coming in mid-season, beating teams like the Saints with all-star defenses to lose to a team with Dallas who's pretty much given up at this point. They're no longer in the contention either. They have Andy freaking Dalton. Dak Prescott isn't playing. You lose to the Red Rifle and Ezekiel Elliott, who's been a disappointment all year. So I'm interested to see his response next week. I don't know who they have next week schedule-wise, but I do want to see how he responds next week, and I wonder if he actually balls out or maybe he struggles again. And maybe creates kind of a tension in the room for Philadelphia, whether or not they want to go back to Carson Wentz or having maybe an open competition next year in training camp.
Washington on Sunday night, by the way.
Washington on Sunday night. So maybe that's gonna be a tough game. Not gonna lie, it's kind of a tough game.
No, it's gonna be a real tough game with Chase Young out there.
What are your thoughts on Jalen Hurts versus Carson Wentz? If Hurts struggles again next week,
I don't think that'll happen. I think they're okay with moving forward with Hurts. Carson Wentz is just I feel like his time has passed. I mean, I don't think they'll give him up. I think they'll be a great backup. Help Jalen Hurts out.
That's an expensive backup.
It is an expensive backup, but who else are you gonna take?
That's the thing. I was thinking about this the other day.
Nobody else who has his pedigree.
well, not even that. It's if you want to trade him, who would take on the dead money? That's the thing I keep going back to. Like, unless you have a team that really thinks they're that elite, like the Chiefs or something, that they just want a 1-year rental and Carson Wentz, that's the only situation I can think of. Washington, maybe, but if Rivera wants to get, first of all, interdivision trades always are a terrible idea, one. And two, you think Rivera wants to take on, first of all, he's reshaping this team for his first year. You think he wants to bring on a $37 million salary cap hit? I wouldn't if I'm Rivera. I don't think he would want to either. So it's like, where's this guy going to go? Pittsburgh? Maybe? Like, I don't have a landing spot. Kev, do you have a landing spot for this guy? Like, I'm putting you on the spot here, but like, where's this guy going to go?
I think Pittsburgh's a good one, but I can't think of anywhere else that would make sense, really.
I mean, Minnesota's used to paying a ridiculous amounts of money for bad quarterbacks. Maybe he goes to Minnesota or something.
Yeah.
Maybe San Francisco. Who knows? We really don't know.
Minnesota's got a lot of problems, though.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Don't even bring my team up. You guys needed a quarterback more than we do.
Chris, at least 12 times an episode, you find a way to relate something that has nothing to do with the Patriots back to me. Like at least 12 times an episode. It's just, it's horrible. It's horrible. But I guess maybe. I guess
right here. All right. At this time.
Yeah, it's ready to go. That's funny. Anyway, Rams Seahawks 29 is the final score. 22-9. Sorry, that's the final score. Seahawks officially clinched the NFC West there, 11-4 at the record, and the Rams fall to 9-6. Jared Goff goes out with a thumb injury, and he can't finish the game there. And apparently, that might keep him out next week as well. Chop that thing the fuck off. Get it back in the game. You're fighting for your playoff survival right now. I don't care if you have a thumb injury. Get back in the game. I don't care. If I'm Sean McVay, I'm like, you're playing this week. He has to start what? Blake Bortles? If he doesn't start, I think they clean him off waivers. Blake Bortles or maybe Sean Mannion. I don't know who's their backup. I don't know who their backup is. I think
They John Wolford.
Who?
I don't think he's ever started or played in a game in the NFL. He hasn't.
Preseason? Nothing.
I think he was in another league. I remember his name. I don't know which league it was though.
Oh no, it was like the not the AAF.
Yeah, I think it was the AAF.
AAF. That was a great league, by the way. I like that league a lot. I wish they kept that league around. But anyway, yeah, John Wolford. If they had to start that game to keep your playoff hopes alive, I would be in a tears and a mess in a heap if I was a Rams fan. I'm just saying. But that probably makes you smile.
All you got to do is do this. Here you go.
Hand off. They don't got Gurley anymore though. They can't do that every time. So we gotta keep an eye on that as well.
He's doing just fine.
Yeah, for sure. If I'm Seattle though, and I know it's a quality win and it's a solid win against a team you need to beat interdivisionally wise, and you need to make sure you solidified your spot as the division winner. But I would have liked to see a more convincing win. 20 points for the Seattle Seahawks, who we've seen in the past just have been explosive with DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett and Russell Wilson at the helm. It's one touchdown for 225 yards on 20 completion for Russell Wilson. I mean, you start the year off as the clear-cut MVP. I mean, I don't think anyone's denying that whatsoever. He was the clear-cut number one MVP candidate up until like week 6, week 7. Mm-hmm. Then it started to take a nosedive, and you're 11-4 now. You should be a better team than that. Jamal Adams, I guess, has come on a little bit more and started to play defense better, but it's evened out now. Your offense used to be dominant, defense used to be subpar. Now it's kind of starting to creep towards, mediocrity for both sides of the football. So what do you make of Seattle this year, and what do you think they'll do in the playoffs?
I think they'll be. I think they'll be in a couple, in a couple dog fights. I think they'll come out the first week. I mean, out of the first round. And end up getting to the second round. Now from there, I don't know what's going to happen. I'll be wishing great. I mean, the best for them, but overall, I just think that they're a team that's going to be a fighting team. They don't have much going on right now. All because they're just trying to stay healthy. That's what it looked like to me. They're just trying to stay healthy as possible and rely on the defense, which Pete Carroll has always done. throughout his career. And, even that is iffy. So
For sure. I mean, I wouldn't say I trust them. Actually, this year is very, very odd now. I trust only 3 teams total. Literally, trust 3 teams: the Packers, the Chiefs, and the Saints. That's it. Oh no, wait. Yeah, I said Packers, Chiefs, Saints. Yeah, those 3 teams. Steelers are frauds. Colts are frauds. Ravens are frauds. Ravens are absolute frauds. Seahawks are not frauds, but I don't trust them to go deep in the playoffs. I mean, I just don't trust a lot of teams this year. I think it might be because of COVID, maybe because there's a lot of different things going into account with preparedness and the ability to kind of formulate playoff success. But I only trust those 3 teams. That's
You
it.
think the Bills are in there?
See, they crept in there after Monday night. They crept in there. Convincing win against New England. We'll talk about that last game there in a couple minutes here. But when it comes to Buffalo, Josh Allen has been nothing short of remarkable. The best quarterback out of that entire draft class. They drafted 5 quarterbacks in the first round: Sam Darnold, Josh Rosen, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and who's the 5th guy? Sam Darnold. Who am I missing? Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield is the 5th guy. I think bar none, he's the number 1 quarterback out of that draft class so far. I think he's been absolutely bananas the last couple of weeks. And I said it multiple times beforehand, Stephon Diggs was the perfect receiver to pair with this guy. Perfect. Josh Allen is now leading the NFL in passes thrown over 20 yards. He's completing 50% of that. That's unheard of. That's a crazy, crazy rate for some of these deep throws. And Diggs is the number 1 reason why. And now he's opening stuff for Beasley. Beasley was I think 40 yards short of a 1,000-yard season, which he's never even sniffed before.
Mm-hmm.
And guys like John Smokey Brown, obviously in the slot, providing some nice speed, in cover 3 coverage and stuff like that. But this team is I'm starting to warm up to them a little bit, to answer your question, Kev, but I'm not sure I trust them implicitly yet. I just see a lot. But I will say I have a ton of respect for the team. Sean McDermott has turned this team around. They had a losing culture, bona fide losing culture. Started in the 90s, 4 straight Super Bowl losses. Mm-hmm. That's demoralizing, and it's taken its toll. They had the longest playoff drought in North American sports history, 25 years. Mm. They won a couple seasons ago, thanks to Andy Dalton and the Red Rifle Bengals. And they've been on a great track since. And Sean McDermott's the number 1 reason why. And I love what he's done for this team. So the Bills might be in that category soon, but as of right now, I don't trust them yet.
It's crazy. It's just crazy how life works. It's like, the Bills, they're starting to, to go trend up and be great, and Patriots are trending down.
Hey guys, if you guys want to fast forward, you can, because he's gonna make more references.
Every chance you give me, I'm gonna go for it.
I'm just giving you alleys right now. You're just slamming them down. Jeez. All right, next game: Packers Titans, 40-14. Wow. 40-14. The Packers moved to 12-3. This is the reason why I trust the Packers. They show up against good teams.
Man.
In the Titans, 10-5. Davante Adams. I'm ready to crown as the number 1 receiver in all of football.
This year, yes.
11 receptions, 142 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Just pure dominant. And it's not like they have slouches on Tennessee's defense. Kevin Byard, a ball hawk at safety. Malcolm Butler, who I think is criminally overrated, but is still not a bad player. And Adoree Jackson. I mean, they have guys in secondary to cover him, but they just couldn't get it done. His footwork is the best in the league, and I don't think it's close. People are terrified of his feet. I would even say he's in the same class of footwork as the GOAT, Chad Johnson.
Yeah.
That's how much I respect this guy's foot game. It's in that's if you guys ever want to watch Chad Johnson's tape, you need to watch his feet. People weren't scared of his speeders as Jody. They were scared of his footwork. Mm-hmm. Same thing with Davante Adams. Not the fastest guy, not the biggest guy, not the strongest guy. But goddamn, he can walk a tightrope with his toes.
Mm-hmm. No, he's everything that you said. He's that and some. The guy he just shows week in and week out what kind of player he is. And if I was him, I would be at Aaron Rodgers' house every day, thanking him or calling him on the phone, thanking him and talking about how we're gonna get him another touchdown, because without Aaron Rodgers, I don't know if he could do it. I don't know if he can pull up these same numbers. This is just hard. It's just hard. It's even like these are rare things that you see, and it's just the same thing as like Travis Kelce being having the most yards as a tight end over wide receivers. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to attest that to your quarterback. You know what I'm saying? And then it goes even deeper than that of your doggone quote, your coach. It's like things have to be worked and played. But Adams for sure is a number one. He's the number one wide receiver right now in the NFL.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right. I figure the time would come at some point. Monday Night Football.
Yep, let's go ahead. Let's talk about it.
Bills Patriots 38-9 is the final score.
How'd it go? How'd it go, Kev?
Not very well.
I love how Kem's all like calm and like very like monotone. We're all just like loud and obnoxious and stuff. It's a great little balance. I love that. But anyway, yeah. I mean, I can't say I didn't see it coming. I can say I'm surprised it happened. Josh Allen now has 34 touchdowns on the year, the most in Bills history. And they had Jim Kelly with the running on offense. So I'm just saying that's a very underrated accomplishment for Josh Allen this season for Buffalo. Mm-hmm. But New England, the one complaint I had from the get-go, you didn't start Jarrett Stidham. And yeah, a lot of people talk about and during the week, McDaniels talked about how he didn't feel he was ready yet and all that stuff, which is astounding because when you have a quarterback as bad as Cam Newton, you can't even start your backup because he's worse. That's what you're basically telling me, which is scary in its own right. But this is how I look at it, right? You're 6-8 before this game. You actually have more to gain by losing, right? If you lose the game, you went from 15 to 12 in the draft. You lost the game anyway. But what I'm saying is, why not see what you have in Stidham in a full course of a game, 4 quarters against a good team in Buffalo? Why not throw him to the dogs? You have nothing to lose. If he's bad, cut him. That's it. We're not going anything anyway. Cam Newton's not going to be a quarterback next year. I pray and hope to Jesus Christ he will be my quarterback next year. But why not start Jarrett Stidham? I don't understand that. I never will understand that. Even if he stinks out loud, just toss him to the dogs. Give him an opportunity. And I think they were trying to get Cam this incentive deal, make sure he got his payment and everything, because it wasn't good faith, that deal he signed at the beginning of the season, because before he was revealed as being a quarterback just past his prime, he took a very, very team-friendly contract to sign with Bill Belichick, right? And I feel like it's a gesture of goodwill from Belichick's point of view. And this is a very reasonable expectation as well, or Bill Belichick is really just that arrogant to not want to show Jarrett Stidham at all. He wants to be like, hey, we're rolling with Cam Newton. That's all we're going to do this week. He's an arrogant motherfucker. I love Bill Belichick. I do. But he will never admit he's wrong. Ever. He'll never do
it. Hey, you are hilarious, Joe.
I know. I should start a comedy show or something.
Why would you even assume that that's what's going on right now? Like,
which part?
He's just that savvy and that technical that he's not going to show his hand of Stidham when.
No. I didn't say that. I said he was arrogant. Bill Belichick's arrogant.
Joe. If he can't play and take over the starting role right now, and you have a starting quarterback who is playing bad, that 9 times out of 10, that means I don't have anything to back him up. That's why he's not starting. That's all that says to me.
Right,
it doesn't tell me that, we're stinking and we're looking really bad, and I got this guy right here who's going to change the world for our team. You're playing him.
Chris, what I'm trying to tell you is right now, you have nothing to lose and everything to gain by playing Jarrett Stidham. If he stinks, it doesn't matter. You still lose the game. But if you start him, he actually does well, maybe you can work with him next season. It doesn't, but I'm just trying to say is he's a second-year player, has never gotten actual playing time, never started a game, never actually had real authentic playing time. Brian Hoyer started over him against Kansas City, and then when Stidham came in next year, almost made a comeback. What I'm trying to say is if anything, you give him an opportunity to prove himself. If he stinks, that's fine. Doesn't matter. You already know what Cam Newton is. You do not know what Jarrett Stidham is. You've never seen him in game action. That's all I'm trying to say.
I get that, Joe. I get it. It's just the fact that you had to add in that this guy is a guru and he's not going to show his hand. He's all of this, and he's all like, no, we know what it really is. Stop trying to give him a extra leeway out if it does turn for the right with Stidham.
Well, no, that
which
wasn't.
I highly doubt is going to happen.
At this point, I'm with you, but I wasn't saying that's my theory. I'm saying that's the theory that's been circulating. I think those are the two options that are viable right now.
Whoever said that, and then they need to get out of here too. And
Half of Boston Sports Radio.
I know Spike King. He's been promoting it so much on his social media, and I'm like, I got to stop liking these pictures because people are going to start thinking I believe in this.
I will say though, he has a great nickname, Stidham Stiffy. That's a great tagline. That's a great tagline.
That's a great name to have to sit on the bench.
Yeah, that's great. It's a great backup quarterbacks are very popular. Are you kidding?
Listen, I wish I was a back. I would, if I could ever go back, it would be a couple positions that I played: backup quarterback, kicker, punter, and maybe defensive end.
No, I'd play punter. We talked about this before in the show. I'm still pissed at my dad. I wish I was a punter. Couple mil a year. You're out there 25% of the time. You get clout. You get chicks. You get everything. You get like all the amenities that come with being an NFL player. You practice kicking a ball for like 3 hours then and just go home. Like that's awesome. That's the best day job in the world.
But also the most criticized as well when they miss a kick.
Oh, for sure. But when you're a punter, you really have that responsibility.
Like your life is over with if you miss a kick.
I mean, I can only think of one time a punter was really berated when Steve Weatherford kicked that ball to Sean Jackson when he returned it for a touchdown. Yeah. That's like the only time I've seen a punter get chewed out on like social media. That's like the only time ever.
Yeah.
They don't get chewed out a lot. So I'd take that job too.
You can be a long snapper.
Long snapper too. They have a nice life too.
No, there's a long snapper.
But you get hit though.
You still got a block. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you get hit.
Down.
You get hit.
I think when you're down though, they can't hit you until you come up.
They can't hit you, but you're gonna pick that head up.
Yeah,
it's not like it's gonna stay down there.
You can't turtle in place. You gotta hit somebody.
Somebody's gonna lay your ass out.
And that's week 16 through Stafford Matthews' eyes. Sponsored by @ColinCovers on Instagram. If you need any sporting advice or sporting bet at all, Colin Covers is your guy. Check him out @ColinCovers on Instagram. Just unreal what it really does. So definitely shout him out. Our sponsor, we thank you as well. Week 17, final weeks for picks. Kev, what's the record again right now? What's our record?
See, there we go. Best friends. Go ahead, tell them.
Let's see, 70% Joe.
What are the actual records though?
157 out of 225 for Joe and 149 out of 225 for Chris.
Okay.
So you're back 8 games.
And Chris, you can still do it. You have a shot. It's a long shot, but you have a shot. Week 17 picks.
That's what you're going to tell me, huh?
Yeah, I'm winning right now. That's exactly what I'm going to tell you. Are you kidding? Week 17. Final pick'ems for Stafford and Matthews for the regular season. Here we go. Cowboys, Giants.
Cowboys.
This is the toilet bowl. I'm going with the I'll go with the Cowboys too. Jets, Patriots.
Let's go with the Jets. I think Jets pull another one out on you.
I'm going with the Patriots just out of loyalty, blind loyalty, but I could see them losing this game too. They're too strict. They got 2 wins on us right now in the last 2 weeks, and they almost lost the game with Cam Newton and Joe Flacco playing a few weeks ago. So keep that in mind as well. Falcons, Bucks.
I'm going with the Bucks.
I'll go with the Bucks too, but I think the Falcons could easily knock this team off. Easily.
Easily? I don't know about easily, but I could see them winning if Tom Brady doesn't come out throwing the ball like he just did.
Yeah, definitely. Vikings, Lions.
He's coming out slinging the ball, then they're definitely losing the ball. They're losing the game for sure.
Vikings, Lions.
Let's go with the Lions. No. Damn, it's a hard one too. Let's go with the Lions. I'm going with the Lions.
I'll go with the Vikings there. Steelers, Browns.
Steelers.
I'm going with the Browns because they're starting Mason Rudolph and what's his name's healthy. Myles Garrett's healthy. It's gonna be a fight. I really hope there's another brawl. I really do. I really hope it's a brawl. I can't wait, but I'm sure. But the thing is, the NFL now is taking on like a very like buddy kind of friendship league, where like I'm sure there'll be like a pregame like dap up with him and Myles Garrett, like a photo op, and like everything's cool now or something. No, I want them to fight again. That was like must watch TV.
One's gonna stay on one side, the other's gonna stay. I bet you, Rudolph is gonna have a security guard right behind him too when Myles Garrett gets out there.
Myles Garrett's a freak individual. I'd have 2 security guards if I was Mason Rudolph. Anyway, Ravens, Bengals. Ravens. Dolphins, Bills.
Wait. Ravens, Bengals.
Yeah.
I might want to. No. I'm gonna stick with the Ravens. Who are we talking about next?
Dolphins, Bills.
Dolphins, Bills. Let's go with the Bills.
Dolphins need to win this game. I'm going with the Bills too, though. Cardinals, Rams.
Let's go with the. Let's go with the Rams. I think they'll have it. I'm
going to go with the Rams too, and it kind of caps off just like a disappointing season for Arizona after a red hot start. Packers, Bears.
Packers
for sure. Seahawks, 49ers.
49ers.
Jaguars, Colts.
Oh, Colts.
I'm going to go with the Colts. Titans, Texans.
Let's go with the Texans. Titans.
Give me the Texans on this one. I want to see them just like I want to see them just not clinch the division. I really want to see them not clinch the division.
I'm gonna win.
Raiders, Broncos.
Oh shit. Raiders.
I'll go with the Raiders too. Chargers, Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Saints, Panthers.
Saints.
I'll go with the Saints too. And then the final game of the week, the Washington football team and the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, Washington football team, easily.
I'm going to go with Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. I'm going to make it interesting. Now, I'm doing that for you. I'm making it interesting. I want to see how it shakes out there. I know you do.
I lost in fantasy, but I'm going to win this.
Anyway, that wraps up Week 17 pick'ems for Stafford and Matthews. Again, shout out to our sponsor, Colin Covers. Also, check out bostonsbig3.com/shop. Great merch up there, individual designs. Got some Hateful Juju merch up there, which I thought was really funny making that. We got some Scam Newton merch. We got some Fire Josh McDaniels merch. We got a lot of stuff. Chris, what else we got on Boston's Big 3 shop?
I don't know, man. After those two, I can't even. I like these dudes that you talking about, man. I can't even go after that. But if you really want to, we got TVs, we got goggles, we got hats, we got flowers, we got bouquets of flowers, we got CBD oil, we got everything you need, man.
We got edible arrangements of some of your house.
Big3.com, man. Support us, support the merch, support the line, support everything that we got going, man. Because without you guys, we would be nothing, and it's only going to go up from here, and that's why we're going to keep on going even this off season. You're going to see all 3 of our faces in this camera from now on. Watch.
For sure. And support me specifically because I'm broke and Chris is a millionaire, so that probably helps a little bit. Anyway, shout out to intern Kevin the intern coming on here for the first time. Hope you had some fun. And any last thoughts, Kev?
That was a great time. Good listening to you guys talk about football. It was really fun.
There we go. Chris, any final thoughts?
Man, happy holidays, everybody, and New Year's is coming up. I hope everybody is staying safe and healthy and ready for this new year to come up, because we can only get better from here.
Yeah, the thing about 2020, you started at rock bottom, you can only go up. That's
what I'm saying. We're only gonna go up, man. Moving on up.
There we go. Happy holidays, like Chris just said. We just celebrated Christmas at my house, and hopefully you guys have a safe and happy holiday season, whether that be Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, the whole 9 yards. So hopefully you guys have a safe and happy holiday season. Happy New Year, everybody. We won't have another episode till after the new year, so happy 2021. And that'll do it. Stafford and Matthews episode.
We got to come in correct for the new year too. Our next episode, we better come in here.
Stafford and Matthews is looking only up in 2020, 21. That's all I'm saying.
All right. I'm just making sure.
All right. Episode in the books. We'll see you guys next time.
Cool.